Have you seen the new black BG Sync EV consumer unit before? Noisy birds. Rule number one, never turn down the first cup of tea on a job. If you do, the chances are you're not going to get offered another one. Today's install is nice and simple. What we have here is this absolutely humongous external meter box. We are going to be installing that new sexy black Sync EV consumer unit next to it, and then we're going to be running an EV Ultra cable down the wall to this position here for the hypervolt. I haven't seen many meter boxes this big on an outside of a house. Let's have a look. So what we have inside here is a 100 amp supply on a TNCS earthing system. We have a 100 amp towers isolator and a smart meter and lots of cobwebs. First thing to do is give this a clean. The reason I have decided to install this today is that it's a very similar colour to the Space Grey Hypervolt, and I thought I'd make the whole installation match the best I could, and I thought it would just look lovely. Something just fell out of the van. So the main reason why I'm installing a separate consumer unit today is, if I can, I like to keep my installation separate from the existing installation, because in the event of a fault, I'm not going to get a call back. My installation is completely separate to everything else that's going on, and you know as well as I do, it's one of those things when you're the last person here, so it must have been something that you've done which is causing the problem. I'm going to give you some really useful pointers when installing the external consumer unit, how I do it and how to make it nice and easy. So once you've got your consumer unit mounted, I've got a 25mm stuffing gland there. That's my EV Ultra, and I'm using some 25mm Copex. Cut this longer than what you need to really. And I've got another gland prepared underneath the meter box. Put the Copex in the clips just to make sure you get your shape right. Don't make it too tight because you're just making hard work for yourself. I'm using 16mm meter tails today. That's absolutely sufficient. It's just an EV charger I'm installing. So what you want to do now is prepare your tails, your earth cable and your Cat 5 shielded, and feed it through your Copex before you put this in the second gland. Otherwise you are going to have a nightmare getting the cables around that bend. Right, once you've got to this stage, I know it all looks a bit carnage at the minute, make sure you've got enough on your tails to go to wherever it's going to go in here. Feed it through your gland, push your Copex in that one, and that one, and that one, put your clips over, job's done. Now you can trim all this down and start getting a bit organised. Okay, so I've got my Henley block installed. I've got a 100 amp isolator here so I can isolate the electric safely without having to remove a cutout. I've got 15 minutes before my client has a meeting, so let's see if we can do it. Okay, we are all prepared now. So what we have is the new Henley block installed, and I've installed this whisker box here, and this is going to be for my CT connection. As you can see, that's a nice tidy install now to my board, which is now live and ready to go. Time to install the EV Ultra. I'm going to use D-line EV Ultra cable clips again today. I have fired the spit gun into these bricks before and it does blow them. I just don't want that to happen. So 5mm drill bit, self-tapping screws, let's do it. So I'm going to be making another video next week on a walkthrough how to connect the hypervolt to the internet and how the app works, and I'll show you all of that. If you're interested, hit that subscribe button. So if you're not familiar, this is the Doncaster Cables 6mm EV Ultra. It's got a Cat 5 cable integrated inside it, which means we can hardwire that CT connection. Really easy to work with. Get yourself one of these EV Ultra cable strippers. This is the high tough version, so no armoureds. I just don't need an armoured cable for this installation, it's not necessary. Just nip it up tight. Then I'm just going to pair all my ends. I am a bit of a ferrule fan, so I like to use these at every opportunity that I can. You could argue that they don't really need ferruling, because although they're stranded cables, they are like solid strands, but I like to do it anyway. And then again, if you haven't seen these D-Line EV Ultra cable clips, they're dead easy to use. You literally fold that bit over, put it through the hole, and then fold it back. Really quick and easy. And with the high tough cable, it's nice and flexible, so you can dress it and get nice bends on it easily. Just had a tea disaster. Today we have the Space Grey Hypervolt, which is my personal favourite, with a 5 metre tethered cable. Make sure you put this somewhere safe. If you drop it, it does scratch easily. Look at that colour match. Let's try again. So with the Hypervolt EV charger, the front cover used to be an absolute nightmare to get off, but they've changed it now. So all you have to do is unprise that bit, and it pops off lovely. So inside this box, you get your holster bracket to be installed later on, get your CT, for your dynamic load management, and you get a little bag of bits here with screws for the side of the Hypervolt and a little green terminal block for your CT connection inside the Hypervolt. So the Hypervolt is one of the chargers that does not have a built-in Type A RCD. That's why it's essential that you install one yourself. Next, we're on to testing. As far as consumer units go, I think that looks absolutely class. So when it comes to terminating the EV charger, following the manufacturer's instructions, it needs to be, the connections need to be torqued up to 2 Newton meters, which is really tight actually. The Hypervolt has a little connector here. Make sure you connect this up first. This is for all the LEDs. And then you have a little catch at the bottom, which you put on first. Find it. There we go. Leaves in front of the camera. Sorry about that. So once I've got the stage where I've got the cover on, before I finish off my testing, I like to mount my holster. Then I can put away most of my gear and just leave a little skeleton kit out just to wrap up the job. Before I complete my testing, what I need to do is set the app up, because we have something on there called a random delay, and if I leave that on, it just takes forever to carry out the testing. So I'm going to make another video on how to connect the Hypervolt to the internet, how to turn off the random delay, and show you all the features of the app. As far as it goes, for my opinion on this Sync EV consumer unit, basically I love it. I think it's a really nice colour, and if you did end up in a situation where you had to install this next to the EV charger outside and it's a Space Grey Hypervolt, it would just look fine, to be honest. It would look really nice. The only thing I would say, and this is me just being really snaggy if I'm honest, it's not a big deal, is make sure that you have a label printer to print off the labels for the consumer unit, because it doesn't come with any. But like I say, that's me just being really picky. Here we have the finished Hypervolt install. I'll run you through the whole thing quickly. You can see here we have that new sexy Sync EV consumer unit with the EV Ultra cable clipped underneath, 25mm Copex into the meter box. We have the CT there, the connections connected in there, new Henley block, all tidy, all the way round to the Space Grey Hypervolt. Thanks for watching. As always, please just hit that subscribe button for me. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs. It'd be really helpful if you do it, and catch you on the next one.